just the heavy stuff is just coming out in masses, so the riffs are crushing. There's a lot of there's probably 40%, 60 aggressive vocals, 40 clean, which is a ratio we've never really dabbled with before. It's very heavy, it's very gnarly, it's very technical.
Hey guys, James Wilson-Taylor here for Roxanne with another of our video calls. We're catching up with everybody while we're all stuck at home. I'm delighted to say from For My Valentine, Matt's on the line. How are you, Matt?
I'm very well, man. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Coping in strange times. That's kind of how we've started all of these, just making sure you are okay, everyone, safe and well, I hope.
Yes, thankfully, doing fine. Have been no issues at all, and thankfully don't have any family or friends that's had an experience with what's going on right now. So yeah, everything's good. Thank you.
Yeah, good to hear, man. Good to hear. Well, let's dive into it because there's a few exciting bits I definitely want to talk to you about. First of all, something you guys have been celebrating over the weekend, 10 Years of Fever, which is kind of crazy to think about, but amazing to kind of look back on that time. How are you reflecting on that album, first of all, now that you're celebrating this anniversary?
I'm not reflecting too much, really. It's just nice to obviously just kind of remember it because, once you do an album, from the band's point of view, once that kind of cycle's done, you're on to the next. We don't really have that listener's emotional attachment like a fan would or a listener, It's like we love it when we make it, we tore the arse off it, and then we're on to the next one, and that's the talking point, and then it just kind of moves on and on. So not reflecting too much, just kind of, just been remembering it for what it was for me, which is one of my favorite Bullet records. And, it was kind of the record which elevated us from, a band that was doing really well to a band that was doing very well. So it was a transitional record for us in many ways. So, but yeah, very, very good memories of that.
Yeah, really important record for you guys as well. I wonder, why do you think it was that one in particular that did take you up a level? Why do you think that one connected so well with that wider audience?
I think it was just kind of the fact that we'd had a couple of albums and an EP under our belt at that point. So we were kind of more, familiar with being in a band and writing records and touring. And we just evolved and grew into better musicians, better songwriters. And obviously we went with a more rock style producer, which kind of helped a lot, it kind of made us focus more on making big anthemic songs rather than ferocious metal tracks, So it was good. It was good. We still had those moments in there, but I think for me, it was more the size of the record sonically was a lot bigger. And I think the parts and the songs were more digestible to the masses rather than just the metal crowd.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It's good to be able to reflect a little bit. I saw you guys put the merch line out and everything. It's a nice idea to kind of have that looking back with fans in that kind of way. But then looking forward, last time we chatted, I think was at Slam Dunk, which is almost a year now kind of coming up. I remember at the time you were teasing saying there was about 8 songs you guys had at various stages of development, but you were saying about 8 or so songs you were kind of ready to go and really excited about. We're about a year on from them now. How are you looking in terms of new music now?
Very well. We've never had this much at this stage pre-recording. Plus there's 7, I think, which are finished in my eyes anyways. Vocals, everything, like demoed up, ready to go. So it's good. We've got a good head start, and then this happened, and it's kind of stopped the train, So it's not ideal, and we did have a lot of plans for the rest of the year for writing and obviously making a record, which are on the back burner now until further notice. So not the end of the world, but we're really glad that now that we took the time last year and the beginning of this year to write and record and demo rather than just sit on our asses, because we've been forced to do that now. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember, again, you said at the time that you were sort of thinking next year would be the actual record release, probably about 2021. Yeah, obviously everyone's schedules are kind of all over the place now, but I would imagine for you guys, looking that far ahead has probably helped.
Yeah, we looking back to last year and then taking the decision to take this year off regardless, to write, to record, take our time, don't rush anything for the sake of it, was the best decision the band could have made. Because we don't have any of the touring headaches that a lot of bands have that obviously had festivals booked this year, touring schedules, and it's just stopped all of that. So we're lucky in the sense that we don't have any of that going on. but it is still kind of spoiling the flow factor that we had 6 weeks ago when things were on fire again, and then we've just kind of had to put the brakes on for a bit. But it's okay. Like it's okay. We'll be fine. And we weren't scheduled to start making a record till September at the earliest anyway. So we'll just see this out, do some writing in the meantime here in my house, and all good.
Yeah, all good, man. Got to adapt in these times. It's good to see you doing it.
Yeah, you do. It feels good to put the brakes on for a minute anyways, you know. I think it's good to reflect and have this moment of seeing what is important in life in general, you know what I mean? And as much as we all love what we do, I think it's been obviously it's been a horrific time for some people, but for some people as well, it's been a learning process and a time to reflect on important things rather than just the hustle and bustle of daily life. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Taking some time out just to kind of relax back into it. I imagine we'll come back, in the weirdest way, maybe come back a bit refreshed, I suppose, when you go back into that writing sessions.
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone will have definitely a zest for life again, you know? I think everyone appreciates kind of normality is actually a beautiful thing. And I've always said that, like whenever I get back from tours, when people go, oh, so what's it like when you get back from tour? What's the first thing you do? It's just like, just go to Tesco and just do like a little shop and cook food and just, watch some TV. Just those things for me, which were always gold dust anyways, so now I'm getting to do it. It's not that big of a deal for me. So
yeah, get to do a little bit of living.
Just try and enjoy it and make the most of the family time and the downtime and just kind of slow down for a minute. So it's been all right.
No, that's good. That's good to hear, man. Again, in terms of what's coming next, in terms of new music, when we chatted at Slam Dog, you were saying all signs were pointing to like heavy stuff. I think you used the word gnarly, if I remember correctly. It's big, heavy sounds you were playing with at the time. Is that still where we're headed? Is that still what things are sounding like in the studio?
Yes, it's pretty brutal, to be honest. It couldn't be more of a contrast from Gravity in the ferocious style, It's very technical. It's just I don't know why. It's just, you just got to go with what you want to go with as a band, as a musician, as a songwriter. You just got to go with what's floating your boat. And this time round, just the heavy stuff is just coming out in masses, So the riffs are crushing. There's a lot of there's probably 40%, 60 aggressive vocals, 40 clean, which is a ratio we've never really dabbled with before. It's very heavy, it's very gnarly, it's very technical. For the people, the Bullet fans out there that kind of like that more side of this band, then they're actually gonna lose their minds. It's very cool and very exciting. Feels good.
Yeah, that's really exciting to hear, man. Who have you I know you won't want to give too much away, but who have you been kind of working with at this early stage? Like, is there anyone you can kind of tell us about what kind of has been the setup so far?
Working with, it's just kind of being the band and our friend Carl Bown, who has done the Venom and Gravity. He produced those last two records. It's just good to have him on board during the writing process. We have got plans to work with other people later in the year, and that was all kind of ready to go. But we're not sure of where we stand with that now because of schedules and us having a knock-on effect and not being able to start probably till 2021 now. We just don't know if we want to wait that long. So we may have to kind of let that go, which is a real shame. So I'm not going to say anything just yet, just in case it still does happen. But yeah, so as it stands, we've just been demoing and writing, and that's been with the band and with our friend Carl Bown.
Nice. Oh, well, fingers crossed that whoever that may be, I hope that happens for you guys, because I know you were excited about it last time as well. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed. You mentioned Gravity as well. Of course, we've talked about that album a lot, but now that things really, really have stopped with that, you finished out the tour dates at the end of the last year. Just wondering, what were some of your kind of favorite memories of that wider era? You played some of the biggest shows of your career in there and stuff. What are the memories you'll take away from the Gravity era of the band?
I think it was just, I don't know. It was just kind of nice to see when we went out on the tour to write kind of a divisive record, which we knew we were writing, but it's kind of what we wanted to do. We weren't really bothered about what people were going to think. That the fans stuck with us, because you can only really gauge where you're at as a band from when you put on your tours and your shows, and people show up or they don't, And this tour that we did, I think it wasn't 18 months as such. I think it was more around 14 months from when we started pre-album to when we finished up. It was some of the biggest shows in our career in certain other territories in the world, like Japan and Germany and stuff like that. We finished off in Alexandra Palace and Cardiff Arena. So it was just nice to know that, you know, the fan base is strong and they're with us because they're fans, you know, they're not going through, like, they're not kind of worried about what the band does. They just kind of are there for us, you know. It's cool. It was just a nice kind of, yeah, that feels good that we have a team. Bullet is a team, you know. And some people like our stuff, some people don't like our stuff, you know, but it doesn't mean you're not a fan of the band and to still come to the shows. It was just great. It just felt good, you know. It wasn't a learning process because we've been doing this forever, but it was more nice to see that there's genuine fans out there that stick with bands through thick and thin, you know what I mean? So it was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it seemed like this tour was just full of highlights for you guys, whether it's Ali Pali or something like you say, or even down to like one of the last times we saw you in the UK, of course, that secret set at Reading that just kind of took us all by surprise. Like, what a day out that was.
Yeah, it was incredible. You know, to kind of, I think that was the last, obviously, UK thing that we did. And it was good. Again, it was one of those shows where you know, they're good in theory and you get buzzed up for it. And then about 20 minutes before, you're like, is anybody actually going to show up? You know, so it was like, oh shit. It was nuts. Again, it was a super, just one of those super cool moments. You know what I mean? It's like the touring cycles, they're kind of what they are. But then to do something like that, it puts the fire back in your belly and makes you have a little bit of kind of anxiety and a little bit of butterflies, you know, and that's what it's all about. And we went out there and the tent was just people as far as you could see. People, you know, it was one of those moments and it was great. Crowd went off. And then we ended it with a little Foo Fighters cover at the end just for good measure because they were headlining the main stage that night. And just amazing. Really, really good vibes, good memories. Loved it.
Such a cool idea. So nice to, like you say, just drop in those little things like that in the touring cycle here and there. Little surprises, always a bit of fun for sure, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of all that kind of stuff, then I'll leave you with this because as I'm sure you've seen, now we're in this incredibly weird situation. So many bands, so many artists trying to find ways to do stuff while they're at home. Obviously enjoying your time at home as you well should be. But have you guys talked about any kind of plans to do, whether it's put up old shows online or anything like that? Has any of those conversations been had?
We haven't really. I mean, there's a ton of stuff online anyways that you can find. So we don't want to just kind of push things unnecessarily. So what the focus on our mind was just to kind of just disappear a little bit into the background for a few months, you know, and just have a bit of a rest from what we do, give the fans a little bit of a breather as well. And, you know, I think staying away a little bit just makes people want you more. I don't know. It's not like this huge tactic thing, but we thought, you know, let's just have a breather for a bit, you know, and write songs and take the time to enjoy what's in the future. And that's what we've done, really. You know, obviously the Fever anniversary was probably the biggest thing that's happened since all this has happened for us. So we just thought we'd get a new merch range up, and given the circumstances, we thought it would be a great thing to give 50% of what those t-shirts make to NHS charities as well, which is brilliant, you know. So that's our contribution to what's going on at the minute. And in the meantime, we're just trying to focus on not getting too bored. And, you know, we've got a lot of really amazing music in the pipeline and demoed up already. So we're just kind of using that as fuel to just keep going, you know, because as soon as this dies down and we can get back in the studio and make this next record, it's going to be 2021 for us. Is going to be massive, you know.
Man, it's exciting. Well, we look forward to seeing you in 2021, man. We look forward to the new music. We look forward to live shows when they come back, thank God.
Oh my God,
and,
I know, right?
Man, the amount of people have been saying, like, it's even the little things, the smell of it, the horrible sticky floors. I miss it all, man. I miss it all. Right now. 100%.
That's, you know, as I'm saying, 5 minutes ago, just make, you know, when this all goes away and life hopefully gets back to normal, I think people will have a far more appreciation for those things, and I think they'll make humans far better people, you know.
Yeah, very, very true. I think everyone will suddenly appreciate the little things again. Matt, it's always great to talk to you, man. Can't wait for more new music. Stay safe. Love to you and the family, and we'll catch up with you soon, all right?
Likewise. Cool, man. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, mate. All right, Matt, everybody.